It's me. I haven't been on much as opposed to recent history. So I haven't really had much to say. For those who don't know, major depressive episode. And there was a lot that went into it being so bad. Because it's a lot easier to go into a depressive state when things are going okay. It's harder when things aren't going the way that you want them to. Because like on a normal day when you're functioning right and everything is, like shit happens. It's universal law is what I call it. The universal law of shit happens. And most of the time you can just kind of brush it off. It's no big deal. You could have a day full of shit happens and you can brush it off if you're in a fairly good place. If you're already in a bad place, sometimes I talk about the abyss, the big empty. You're walking through hell. And you're reaching out. And the help that you need is not being offered. Because the people who love you, they can't give you certain things. Like in April, Lexi passed. Nobody could give me her back. And I was going through something else. Nobody could I was doing my best to turn that situation into something. Only one person could have made it something. And you can't make a person do something. I wouldn't want to make a person do something. I mean, even with my kids, I always hated telling them to do something. I wanted to ask and it would be done. And it would have been really great if I wouldn't have had to ask. But, the problem with going through an abyss, and I think people with PTSD can understand it just like people with depression can understand it. And people without those issues don't quite get it. There are things that people don't understand. They just don't get it unless they've been in your shoes. When they've been in your shoes, they get it. So you're reaching out for everything you might think will light your way, get you through, help. And a lot of times the people who have the same type of struggle, they know what it takes. They know what you need. There are things that cannot be accomplished. And some of my depression, the worst parts of it was my brain attacking me because certain things were not going my way. And the people I could have went to for help, they couldn't have fixed those things. And when I would give them a little bit of some of the extra, some people are just kind of naturally negative about certain subjects. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I need hope right now, not negativity. Like I understand. Like the last thing you need when you're having an anxiety attack or you're going through a depressive episode is for somebody to tell you it's not going to get better. Because, see, I wouldn't do that to somebody. I'd be like, hey, it's going to get better. You're going to get through this. You know, I may or may not mention it's going to come back. You'll go through this again, but there's going to be moments. And you have to hold on to those moments when you're really struggling, because people don't always understand what you need. They don't understand that their thoughts on certain things are not what you need to hear. You need hope. You need affirmation. Sometimes you just need somebody to show up and sit with you. They ain't got to say shit. Just show up and sit with you. Like, it depends on the person, but, you know, I've been sitting in this abyss or whatever, and just, you know, my whole life I've kind of been alone, and it, I mean, I know I've had people around me, and some of the people around me would say that I am not the easiest person to be close to. That I isolate a lot. And I might push people away. You know, like I am not, I'm willing to give them the benefit of saying that I am not easy to be close to. And I will push people away. Because I don't know. I mean, there's many different theories I have as to why. And I think people who go through what I go through, just like people who go through PTSD, you know, when they're around somebody who's going through the same thing, they kind of know what to do. And they know what's not helpful. And they also know that what works for them may not work for this person, you know, because even if they're experiencing the exact same thing, may not work. But they tend to care enough to figure out what you need, because they know that at some point in time, they're going to need somebody. And they're not helping you so that you'll help them back, but it's a connection that you want to nurture to a degree where if you did call them, they would be there for you, because they would remember that you were there for them, and they would recognize that y'all understand things that other people don't. And if they don't help you get through it, you're not likely to find the help you need. And, you know, the last few days have been pretty good for me. You know, I met somebody online who has been going through pretty much the same thing, but for a longer period of time. And we haven't really gotten into truly talking about it, but we have good conversation going. And I think that we could be, if nothing else, really good friends who can kind of lean on each other. You know, it's because it's like, some people don't understand the online thing. And to me, that person doesn't particularly exist. They exist, but they don't exist. Like, I know I exist, but I am not in their world. So I don't know their people. I don't know a lot of things. And the only thing that really sucks about it is when you both know that what you really need is a good hug. And you can't give them that hug. They can't give you the hug. You know, pat on the back. So that's where I'm at.